All right, we are back for session, whatever the heck this is, session 3.3. We are still working, I am still troubleshooting my player pool data. Um, I've got a couple of minor issues just with the processing of creating my player pool. You can still see, even though I have a lot more of the 1484s on here, um, there are still a number that are not 1484, so I'm still getting a few issues. I think we're close though. I'm kind of slowly but surely figuring out the where things are tripping up. For example, I'm a little thrown by break tackle here because, well, we shouldn't be getting a. If it's zero, we're supposed to be getting um, whatever's here. So we shouldn't get a zero ever because it's not actually loading a zero. And then we should just get whatever the, when we have a non-zero value, we should get a value here. Now, it returns whatever that value is here and puts it there, but once this changes, we should eventually fall in the right values. But I'm still a little confused because you can see I have, let's go up here to my, I think is it general or is that offensive? That might actually be an offensive skill. So break tackle's up here, and I need to figure out, let's set this to true. And then I'm going to go over here, and once again I'm going to drop a refresh here, and then we're going to go drop the player pool. And we will drop the scaling values. Now, I don't know that I have to drop the player pool because I kind of have it set up where it's supposed to. Let's see here. See how this works. Trying to clean up this duplication. There shouldn't be this many. I mean, there are a fair number, but there aren't that many. We should have, I have maybe half this many, but a lot of these duplicated. You got run defense showing up twice. Okay, so let's see what happens. It shouldn't be getting multiples like that. Now it does take about 2 to 3 minutes. It actually says how long it takes. I think it says how long it takes to run right at the top here. It goes 2 minutes and 37 seconds. Now I don't know if that's before or after it processes this. It's quite possible it's before. All right, so what we're seeing on these log outs, this is what happens before when everything runs through. A lot of these are going to get things like zeros and messed up values during the initial run through where everything is adjusting all of my scale values. But eventually we get to a point where it goes, hey, we have all of our scale values have updated. Let's run it again. And then we should get a lot less of these. In fact, in theory, we should get 0 more. I'm going to go get some water. I'll be right back. So the second time through, it should get like none. So how was your trip? How was Florida? How was Florida? Yeah, was it hot down there? Yeah. How big is Pokemon? I mean, I remember when we played Pokemon. When we went to when we went to regionals and stuff, like in Portland and stuff, I don't remember. I mean, I guess there might have been 1,000 people. I don't remember there being thousands. I remember they had tables and tables of people, but I don't remember it being that big. Do they still run like Pokemon Game Boy tournaments and stuff like that? Yeah. 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 That's cool. Nice. So you said, did you get paid cash? Uh-huh. Oh wow. Are you gonna sell any of that stuff? Should I take some of your trip? How much did it cost to get down there? How much? Oh, that's not too bad. That's with hotel and everything? Oh, that's not bad, I guess. That's not too bad. Cool. All right, let's see what our results are. Are we better? Are we better? Let's go. Let's first go update my live streams thing here. Pretty sure that's not going to work. Log out. Log in. For whatever reason, gotta keep doing this every time. I gotta check. I gotta have this stay logged in or something. It's kind of funky. All right, I'm gonna copy this time. We'll say football manager. I know you're like, wow, you do this every time. I know. Sorry. Football manager, game development, micro services. What else? I don't know. Yeah. Let's put an active. Yeah, let's see if I can simplify this problem for the future here. And we will go here. Nope. It's not going to work. Apparently can't copy them that way. Okay, there we go. Let's get rid of that. Let's go see where we are at here. You know, I don't even think I ran this. Oops, I'm gonna have to go. I have to go back because I messed it up. I messed it up, man. What am I doing? Come on, stop it. Oops. Gotta edit. It's not gonna work. There we go. All right. Now back to it. All right, so it is a smaller list. It is now somewhat sorted. It's a little bit better. But we still got values. These guys should not be empty right here. These guys should not be getting break tackles of 0. Which means, so I got a QB that's getting a break tackle of 0. We got some empties getting 0s. QBs, CBs, tight ends. It's a lot of people getting 0s even after the update, which is right here. Even Fred Taylor got a 0 again. So something is a wonkin' out. All right. So I've got a problem with my big play ratios. Darn garnet. So running back, did it at least put in the right thing? So let's go see. So I can see the right stats. So we got RB. All right, we're not getting in here for some reason. So he's got, we're not even getting to this. It's not getting to 0, but it's not even running here. And those are getting out. But why? No, it can't be getting here because if it was, I would not see a log. So it's getting, how's that happening? We're not, how are we getting? It's not less than or equal to 0, so we're not getting here. So how are we getting to this? Big plays, big play ratio. But it's not 0. How are we getting a 0? I mean, it says it's 0, but it's not supposed to be, because, oh. No. I thought I had it solved. Never mind. Nope. How are we? If big play ratio, we are getting to, what is going on? Are we going here? All these have the same condition. If big play ratio is less than or equal to 0. All of them have that. And write logs is the same condition. So these are all the same, but yet we're getting this. All I can figure is we are not actually going into my base position is not getting printed. Or it's not being discovered correctly. Is this showing base position? No, it's showing player position. Ew. I bet you that's not. I bet you that's what's going on. Player position is going to get base position. Let's go see what base position is here. Because I don't think we're entering. We're not entering this this test. And it's breaking everything. Most of them aren't entering for whatever reason. Now, if we get a value here, we're supposed to be dash something. Should be right after RB. And I have a feeling it's not working. Let's go see what base position is doing. Get there's a lot of values in here. How about, I'm going to change this. I don't like it. Get, get specific position. I'm going to do that. Just because I think it's better. And we're going to go to general skills. And then, there we go. All right, let's run it again. I want to see something is going wonky on here. And so I have to put in, if I'm not delusional, could be delusional. Knowing me, it's late. It's getting into the evening times, and I ran 7.5 miles. Maybe didn't get enough sleep last night. Yeah, see, we are getting base positions that are RB. So I am having something is wonky going on here. Because even though we're here, brake tackles are still broken too. Should not be happening. Baron Hayes, running back. 0 big plays. Total touches 0. I get it, they're 0, but all right, so if total touches and game played, so they must have some games played that's getting them through. No, it's total touches is 0. How are they getting a total touches of 0? I mean, I'm going to have to put in something else because these are not logging. And they're somehow hitting here. I got big play ratio, right log, same thing. It's just that I'm getting to this. I am not getting up here. Even though the math, the logic says if this is getting hit, so should that. So we're getting a lot of big play ratios of 0. Even though we're not supposed to. And they all have the same conditions. means all of them should be set to something other. Why? How am I getting... How? Because this is logging. It says it's 0. Which means this should log. And I should basically see the player's name and position 2 times. In some cases I do. I mean, I'm seeing it like Matt Flynn. I see... Yeah, but it's Matt Flynn above. How is Matt Flynn... This would come after. Oh, I'm so confused. I'm really confused. Gosh dang it. I think I gotta clear the noise. I just get every big play ratio is 0. For whatever reason, every one of them is 0. Which means, but it's not passing here. It's like I'm going here, and then all that does is all right, let's just do it for a name. I want to do it for a specific person. I am going to Fred Taylor. Okay, so Fred Taylor has a big play ratio of 0 for whatever reason. I don't know what it is. He's got 14 big plays. But all of my guys, or a lot of these guys, are getting big play ratios of 0. It doesn't make any sense. So what I need to do is go or. Let's actually just go or. Nope. I just wanted to see one player. So I got to see where it's going. It's like it's not hitting this thing, which means because we got running back here and it's exiting. It would only, how would it, if it exits, so it can't be hitting this, or it wouldn't be hitting that log at the bottom, in which case it goes here. Total touches, which I have here, should be big plays. I should be getting all this. All right. Or player.name equals Fred Taylor. Oops. We're just going to do Fred Taylor. And I want to see, let's comment this out. Just for my peace of mind. I'm going to comment this one out too. say or player dot name equals Fred Taylor. Okay. And then I go up here and we'll say false because I made a special exception for this. I gotta see what's going on. This is driving me bonkers. All right, so I have total touches of 65. How can I have 6? It says big plays 14, and here it's 0. What the McNoodles, man? What are you trying to pull? So we're getting 0 divided by total touches. But what is the... But how... Well, I'm getting big plays. What is big plays? All right, something. Okay, something is way wonky here. Big. Am I not like? Where is big plays? Oh my gosh! Did I not actually? So you telling me hey Karama, man, you're still going, huh? I am stumped. Okay, so I figure, okay, so this value is getting a value. But apparently whatever it is not this value, which is all receiving. Receiving. But where's my rushing? Rush 10 plus. That's under QB. You know what? I mean, that's not, actually, that could be QBRB. That could be receiver. I mean, these are just... Rush 10 plus. That's like running back, but it could be running back, could be receiver too. How about, this should be like receiving big plays and passing big plays. And I think the reason is... No, total touches is total touches. But quarterbacks have more... I mean, they may not catch very many, but I'm not sure why I did it this way, but it feels broken. player TDs. What? So let's see. I have receptions are there under wide receiver big plays, which is not even anywhere, but that is. Okay. I'm going to rename this. I think that's the problem. Let's just name that something else. We'll call it reception big plays. Oops. Bad. This is just a broken. This is some broken naming of my variables. Shame on me. Reception big plays. We'll change that to lowercase r because it should be. Also, probably. Oh no, that's not going to work. That's what it is. It's kind of dumb that I'm using it, but because that should be, it should just be big plays. I don't know why. I'm trying to figure out why I just don't have, I'm not using the total. That's what I'm trying to figure out. Why am I not using the totals? Because you know what? I bet you I'm gonna blame AI. I have a feeling I had AI help me write some of this, or rather, I think I was probably creating one, and then AI kind of jumps the gun and goes, "Oh, you want to do this?" and it gives me, and I didn't notice that it was using the wrong variable. That's what I think happened. Because there should also be one of these called run big plays. And that one should be something like this. Oh, I see why. Okay. I think I can kind of see what's going on. I don't know if there's any others that would go into running. Because I already have player TDs, and player TDs is all the scores by individual players. Doesn't even matter. Reception, passing, running back. Not sure why receiving over 41 yards or over 40 yards is a running back play. I mean, yeah, running backs can have those big catches, but I think the problem is the only big play that Fred Taylor has is probably run big plays. And I think some of these, it might be because it's replicative, but ultimately I think big plays in total touches is all I need. I don't know. I'm trying to figure out why I was trying to be specific about. I mean, I could see grouping it based on the player because each player, like I have a QB range and a running back range. Everybody has their own thing, but everybody should be the same big play ratio, which is going to be total touches or big plays divided by total touches. I don't know why I tried to separate them. Are all these accounted for? And where is passing TDs? I don't think anybody's going to have any of those, but that doesn't mean they can't. They can't. And who knows? I might call someone in for a weird trick play or something. I don't know why I did that. What was going through the mind there, buddy? Because then if I can just go big play ratio and then go big plays divided by total touches. And then I don't even need this. Each group is a little bit different. Total touches and games played. Am I scaling them to anything? I like them to be scaled amongst other players of their same class. That's fine. Yeah, I just don't know why I did that. You know, it's not uncommon for a developer to look at their code some months later and go, The really scary thing is I'm looking at my code and going, didn't I just do this like last week? It's like I'm already going, Things that make you go, I think big play ratio might have been one of the first ones I did, and maybe I was just overthinking it. I feel like it doesn't, whatever I was thinking was unnecessary. I do like the idea of getting a scale based on the position though. So running backs may have a slightly different scale min and scale max. So they're going to have a slightly different ratio. But if they're scaled with their own team, with their fallow player type, we might get a better end result. But that said, let's go look at. Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna run this again while I run this. What do I got here? It says I have a bugaboo up here. Because these guys are all invalid now. Let's get rid of those. Okay. So the in review part of my testing, still apparently not fully tested. Okay, now we should have some big plays, which should allow for better ratios, which should fix some things. Let's go look at this adjusted yards per rush, though. We got a lot of guys getting zeros here, both before and after. In fact, yeah, lots of guys. Oh, this is the break tackle skill. So even though I'm doing the max of max and maxing, we're getting nothing for these people. Yards per rush, 0. Well, the corners wouldn't have them. QBs. But the problem is, they're passing the kick returns, punt returns, rush attempts. So they have something. You know what? Let's do this. If adjusted yards per rush equals 0, just this, not equal to 0, then we'll do this. So we won't set that unless we have a valid value. Nobody else actually gets to do any scaling. Just going to get the scale min if it exists. Go ahead and do this the right way. I don't know why it would make a difference, but it's not supposed to be 0. If it's not 0, then we should be okay. Now I don't know why. It says it's not equal to 0. Is a fair catch on a punt still considered a return? All right, so yeah, okay, so we should be fine then, because if you don't have anything, then yeah, it could theoretically, I guess, get a negative if you only return once and you get nailed. You try for it and you blow it. It's possible. Let's see what this does. Most kick returners I don't think have negative yards, but it's possible. Let's go one better. Let's just say it has to be greater than 0. All right, let's try this again. And we're going to go here and dump the scaling values. So the reason I keep dumping the scaling values is because as I adjust these things and get them to all work and do their thing, their scales aren't correct. Eventually, ideally, they will all be correct the second time they run. You know, once I get it all complete, it will be valid. I just want to make sure that it's generating correctly. So you can see I'm getting a lot of guys still getting a yards per rush that's bogus, even though not supposed to. But we're not logging the zeros. That's supposed to be... But we're still getting them. So like everybody must be getting a bad value, because that's the only way that can happen. Pretty much every person is getting crap. That's how it's going. The entire game is giving me crap. Even though I'm not even logging a yards per the rush, that's less than 0. Huh. Fred Taylor's got a number now. Yay! So big play ratio might be fixed. Break tackle, on the other hand, is still pretty broken. I'm not getting any values. How did I not? I could have swore I tested this. Why was it working before but not now? What's different? I'll tell you what's different. I've got everybody going through it, not just some filtered characters that the unit tests do. The unit tests go and filter out, get some guys that are, you know, they mostly qualify, and then it bails out. Sorry, I'm distracted and tired. Falling asleep. Not falling asleep, but I'm like just, you know, a little I don't know, flighty. Waiting for this thing to run. Is it done? Did it finish? Did it pop out my final numbers? Nope, not yet. Any minute now. It should pop out, and I can at least look and see if my yards per rush is good, or whatever, that big play potential. Only 388 people got a big play potential. Ugh. Ugh. All right. Can you actually update the sort to be first by the player count ascending, and by player name alphabetically. Just because I want to push the 1484s to the bottom, and then I can see as I'm knocking them off which ones are right, which ones are wrong. You see what? You see my numbers here? Are you referring to my my output? This is just how many. See, I ran all my skills. These are all the skills I created, and it's running through and generating them for each of my player pool. So it's building my player pool from all the stats that I have. So if I click on this, you see these are all the. This is one of the records I have, Rasheen Mathis, and all of his values. That's all that is. It's just showing me how many players actually got values for these different things. And ideally, I know I have 1,484 valid players in my stats. So all of these things should get 1,484 players. And you see a lot of them have 1,484 players. They're working correctly. But some of them, like false security and these things, are all still kind of coughing up weird numbers, which means some of the players aren't getting processed correctly. Not exactly. Object-oriented programming is kind of like creating a class that represents a particular thing in a database or an object. So like if I were to create one of these files specifically to represent say my player pool, like say if I created a player pool file and everything inside of that player pool was like the name of the player, everything about the player, right? Everything about him. That's object-oriented programming. It's like I may have the player and then he's got these skills and then I got these methods on the player that maybe let me see like you know, his draft history. Maybe I have a method on there that'll pull back all of his records and achievements. Maybe I'll even have a method that says, you know, whenever I want to call that player, I have him do like a tackle attempt. Say have Joe.tackle against this value. And then the value would be something. That's object-oriented programming. You're treating each of your data objects as an object. That's object-oriented programming. This is not. I'm not fully developing this as objects. It's not. I don't know that Go lends itself well to object. You know, my full understanding of Go is it doesn't really lend itself well to object-oriented programming, but I could be wrong. C Sharp is very much an object-oriented programming language. It's designed for that kind of thing. Your classes often represent a particular type of object. You know, you may have your player object, your you may have things like your fan objects. You could have your playbook object. I do kind of have objects, but mine are more like services. So I'm doing it more like a microservices architecture. So these services, like I have players here, right? And in a sense, this player's service is an object, but the difference is it's not directly able to interact with any of these other objects except through these calls that go through this handler. So whenever something like a player wants to use a player skill, it'll call the player skills objects service. And what that just allows it to be is like if something were to go wrong with the functionality in my player skills and this service crashed, my whole application does not crash. Just that service will crash. Now, yes, I'll get an error, and maybe any calls that attempt to affect it won't be able to go through. They'll get errors, but my entire app doesn't die. So microservices allow you to basically encapsulate the application's functionality into services. So you can kind of keep them isolated from each other. Whereas in a object-oriented program, a single program, something totally blows up in one of your classes, you could have error handling that can try to handle it, of course. That's what you should do. But if it blows up, if something were to go really wrong, your app will crash. The whole thing will blow up. And so if an app shuts down completely, there's one of two things going on. One, it's a single service, micro or object-oriented type of language. There's other kinds of apps that aren't. It's just kind of like your object-oriented programming is really about encapsulating processes, much like my microservices, within a single application and giving it an easy way to reference each of those items. So like I said, you'd have your players, your playbooks, your coaches, or your staff. You could have the users of the game. All those things would be their own object within the application, which is kind of what I'm doing, except I'm using a services architecture instead of an object architecture. It's a different approach to the same kind of thing. And I don't know which one's more performant, to be honest. The services seem to be pretty quick, but I don't know I think it's the more safe way to go. One of the nice things about having a services architecture versus an object-oriented architecture is I can open up single parts of my services. For example, if I create my Unity application and I create my React application can actually just connect to the services it wants to. I can have it make calls to just players or just the playbook or whatever I want without even bothering to access any of the other code. The other code doesn't know I'm accessing it. It doesn't care. There's no interaction. If anything that React does blows up that service that it's reacting with, it only affects that service. So you only in connection to the service that you're talking to. If you open up an object model that isn't a service for an app, and you can do that. You can create an API that'll connect to an application API for you to go in. You call up, you have to start the app, and the entire app is running. So those API calls theoretically could execute something that would crash the app. So it's a little bit more evasive, especially if you want to have an API that's available to outside usage or to alternate usages. But yeah, you just got to think object-oriented just means you're creating isolated, encapsulated objects that kind of try to work autonomously from the rest of the app. And you only reference the parent object, and then that parent object has its own children that it'll do stuff with, but you never call the children. You'll never call the items on underneath. You might call the parent, and then you say, "Hey, player, what's your name?" And then you say player.name, and then the name comes back up. So in that sense, you are calling, that's an object-oriented programming language. You're getting it all through a single object. I hope I explained that okay. There's probably better people online to do explanations. It's not really, but I think that's the general gist of it. All right, so I am still struggling to get this to be fully correct. As you can see, my big play potential, my break tackle, both of them still not coming back correctly, and I'm not fully. And this adjusted, and break tackle, what is going on with break tackle? This is break tackle. I get a lot of guys coming up with 0. Now I have a feeling if I push this up here, maybe I'll get less, but that still doesn't explain. Steve Johnson, adjusted yards per rush. Why do I have? We cannot have zeros because I am getting values. Adjusted yards per rush. How are these all zeros? I just don't understand. Oh. This is like all zeros for yards per rush, yards per reception. So that means both of these are coming back empty, but somehow maybe the punt return average or kick return average is coming back with something. Kick returns, punt returns. All right, I got to put more information in here, I guess, because I really don't know. What are the values that are choking me here? Format dot print line adjusted punt. Well, I'm at it. Let's go with format print line. We're going to put all these guys in here too. Rush attempts, play receptions, punt returns. Okay, let's do that. I just got to see. I got to see what's going on. Why these? First of all, how are they even qualifying to be here? That's the thing. Because I have this that says, hey, if you guys don't have these things, don't bother coming down here and bothering my stuff. But it's apparently we are getting at least a bunch of bother here. Let's see what we got here. Now it's going to be really slow because I'm popping out all kinds of crap. But so 1 kick return. This guy has 1 kick return. 6 kick returns. But they have no kick return average. You know what? I think my kick return average is broken. Look at none of them. Even these guys that have 28 kick returns have a 0 kick return average. I think that's my problem. My kick returns are not returning values. All that work, and that's part of the problem. I mean, I don't know if it's the problem, but it's definitely not a happy camper scenario. All right, so let's go get, let's go look at my, oops, player stats. First of all, let's go to get, we're doing break tackle, offensive stat, and we're doing per return, draw, long reception, QB, kicking, punting, PAT, running back, kicking, QB, reception, get drops. More throws, get drops. Receptions, BLS, get targets, receiving skills. Oh, special teams. Dang it, these are supposed to be special teams. No wonder I'm looking in the wrong place. Control, general. Wait a minute. Okay. QB. It's supposed to be here because I don't have it. Here we go. Kicking stats, field goals, kick under, kicking, kick return average against. Punting. All right. I don't know where this is. I lost it. Where the heck are you, you stupid thing? Get adjusted punt return average. Oh, it's a defensive stat. Jiminy Christmas. Okay. And it's coming from this one. How about kick? Kick is kick returns. Kick return average. All right, let's go back here. Punt return average and kick return average. Are punt returns coming back with anything either? You know what? I wonder if these are supposed to be all lowercase. Because I don't see any values on any of these guys for punt return and kick return. Let's just do this and see if that fixes anything. All right. All that work to see if this actually is going to do anything. Let's see if we get any values. Most of these I'm finding are 100% low case. Nope, didn't work. All right, I don't know. That didn't do anything. All right, so what do we got? It's KR average and PR average, according to my sheet here. It's from the end returns. End returns. Oh, KR average is... Do I have one called returns too? I do. I don't know what the difference between that one and that one is, but I have two stat sheets. I got end returns and returns. I'm not sure why. I mean, they both have a punt return average, 9.2. It's the same data. Just got it from apparently two different places. That one's got return TDs on it. Kick return TDs, punt return TDs, total return TDs. This one's probably better, just because it's a little bit more descriptive. But that doesn't have total TDs. This one has total TDs. Not that there's many. KR average and PR average are both labeled the same though. Okay, let's pull them from the same sheet. Just because, but that doesn't really solve my problem. So now, let's go look at Dustin Colquitt. Dustin Colquitt's a punter though. I just know that. Don't ask me how I know that. Jeff Garcia is a QB. I mean, there's a lot of guys on here that would have zeros for those items. Nobody's got a positive value. Rush attempts. That's just kick returns. It's not even the average. Punt returns 1. Receptions 1. Rush attempts 17. Tarvaris Jackson. But he doesn't even have an adjusted. You don't even have an adjusted rushing yards. How do you rush 17 times and not even have negative yards? My values are totally bonkers on here. All right. Let's go. If kick returns not equal to 0 or punt returns not equal to 0 and write logs. And then for now, I'm going to comment this block out. $9.16. I got to get this figured out soon though, because this is driving me bajonkers. So we got guys with 31 returns getting no punt return, or no kick return average. So that's a problem. I still got kick. All right, so let's go see one of these guys with no kick return average. Like some of these guys, look at that, you got no kick return average on 55 returns. There's something wrong with that. So we're gonna go find out this. Get some Stephen Logan knowledge here going. Let's go see what I got here. I'm gonna go. Let's go find out what is the deal with Stephen Logan. Is it stats data or stat data? Stats data. Is that it? Okay. So we got returns. 55. I can't draw 55. So is return no, average has why are some of these capitals, some of them not? PR average. Oh, and we're doing end returns. Does he not have end returns? Oh, there he is, end returns. So I think that's what I went with. Yeah, end returns. Okay, so it's KR AVG IND returns and PR AVG, right? PR AVG and returns capital. And so why is it coming back with nothing? It doesn't make any sense. Oh wait, am I even populating that yet? Oh, may not even be populating it yet. Because I haven't put it down. Alright, let's go one farther. Let's put this right here. And we'll say and these are still coming back 0, but let's see what happens here. Oh, this is so annoying. Playing with numbers. Actually, I like playing with numbers, but I prefer when they're coming out the way I expect them to. I prefer when they're doing what I tell them to do, you know? I mean, duh. Stupid numbers. Punt return, kick return, kicks, punts. All right, all these have numbers in them. But so all of these are doing what they're supposed to. Punts, receptions, punt returns, kicks. He's got all the numbers. So this proves all my numbers are just fine. And I'm getting numbers back. So it's not an issue of getting numbers back. It's an issue of somebody is breaking my code. Because we're not supposed to get... we're not supposed to log zeros, but yet we're getting zeros. Because now if I were to take this guy, how do I get zeros? I mean, how do they even get past? I mean, I know this is scaling on 0, 2. But they'd have to be. It can only be the lowest once. That's the thing. You can't be lower than the bottom one time. I mean, you're either the bottom or you're not. But it can't be. How come everybody is getting a 0? All right, let's try this. I have another idea. So we're going to go. I'm going to go ahead and uncomment this. I'm going to put this guy this over here. And I'm going to take my Get scale. Get scale min value. Adjusted yards per rush. Comma. Wait, do I want to invert that? I don't want to invert that. Ugh. Let's get rid of that. Let's comment this out for now. So I try to pin down the cause of my problem. All right. The only other option after this would be to set these guys only if they are not 0. But okay, see what this does. Still getting some guys going through here, getting zeros. One rush attempt. A lot of guys just getting through here with like piddly little. I don't even know how they get in there. Ta-ta. I don't know what. Ta-ta for now. I don't know. I don't know what that means. He's got 2 receptions. He's got 1 reception. These are some pretty lame stats for sure. But that means their break tackles are still coming in as 0. So somebody is still managing to get I mean, it is pretty bad. 1 reception isn't much to work with. And he has no yak. But the idea is that if it's 0, we don't put in a 0. We should never get a 0. So who's getting a 0 logged? Yeah, I'm with you. I mean, at some point, I prefer to work with SQL than to work with Mongo. Mongo's really kind of a pain in the rear. So, yeah, I'm using Mongo database, but I prefer SQL Server. It's just easier. Writing SQL for SQL is easy compared to Mongo. Mongo's like, it's just, I don't know. Who was it that somebody came on and actually offered me, well, didn't offer me a job, offered to provide me a reference to go work for Mongo database if I applied. I did apply actually for a job with them, but they never replied to me, so they didn't want me. They go, oh, why this guy don't know nothing. What are we doing? What are we gonna do with him? 1 year of experience? That's crazy talk, man. We only hire people with 10, 15 years of experience. Everybody's got to have 10 or 15 years of experience. Oh, I know why nobody broke. I didn't dump the scales. I mean, it was just broken from the get-go. 14, 14, 14. How many have I got? I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 still. 12 that are still broken. And I fixed punt skill. What did I do to break punt skill again? Ugh. Ah. Ah. Honestly, it depends on what you're programming. If you're trying to program Mac applications, then, you know, Mac is great. But if you're programming games, you have to do Windows. You have to do Windows, especially if they're PC games, obviously. Um, a lot of your tools are going to be more Windows friendly. A lot of the IDEs and stuff. Some people like to program in Linux. I think people are masochists, but I don't know. I think people just like to program in Linux because it's not Windows. You know, they don't make a good reason for it. But I think for games and stuff, you kind of have to go Windows. But if you're gonna just do business apps, it just depends on what kind of app you're doing it for. Or if you're doing a graphics engine app, like if you're trying to create, you know, the next Adobe Photoshop or something, then probably Mac, because that's where Mac excels in graphical stuff. And I don't mean games. I mean like photo editing and video editing and that kind of thing. That's Mac's, you know, home base, their specialty. It's been that way for ever, decades. I don't know why actually, because I think Windows has really gotten to the point where it can pretty much keep up, but I think it's just become kind of a accepted. People accept weird things. I think you could actually find some comparatives online. There's some YouTubers out there who will talk about Windows versus Mac for programming, and you can get your feedback there. Those people know what they're talking about because they go through the effort of um, you know, actually comparing them and working with them, that kind of thing. And, nah, I'm not an Apple guy, so I don't pay much attention to Apple. Every now and then they come up with something innovative. I think every 15 years or so. But they're not a. They're right now. You know, in recent years, people have just been Mac diehards. Have always been Mac diehards, whether they actually have anything to be diehard for or not. It's kind of like people who are Linux users. You know, they just kind of go, "Oh, it's Linux. It's great. It's got to be great. It's Linux." It's like, no, I don't think that's how it works. Yeah, yeah, all or nothing with those things, man. Right, now we're gonna run again. So we got a lot of guys are just one punt, one reception, one rush attempt, Justin Jenkins. These guys must be QBs? I don't know. I don't know these guys. These names don't look familiar to me at all. Billy Pollock had 9 rush attempts. He's a QB. Obviously didn't get anywhere. He got tackled. .500 records in. Still don't understand how I'm getting a break tackle value of 0 though. Because you're not supposed to get zeros. It says right here, if it's less than or equal to 0, bring back the default that's not 0 and use that. And that's all. We should never get another. Should not get. Oh God! It says it right there. Right there. Don't get it if it's not if it's 0. Don't do it. All I can figure is somehow this break tackle is getting set to 0 in the system. I don't know why. It's like the first call. How does that even happen? It shouldn't be, because it can't. How does it get set? The first call is 0? That's the only way that can happen. I don't even know how that would happen. Because if we're 0, we don't make the fit. We don't put it in there. So it would have to be something else. Is there something else setting break tackle? All right, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna do this. I'm just gonna print this nonsense. Let's just put this thing out there, man. Format dot print line default minimum break tackle skill. I don't know what else to do. I got to see what this value is, or how we're getting to a 0, because it just doesn't make sense. It should not be possible to get a 0. Yeah. I'm sorry, man. I can't, you know, obviously I've been out unemployed for a while, and I haven't been looking for work as much as I had been after 300 and some resumes. And there was a time when, you know, developers were just in super high demand. Everybody was creating crap. And, you know, by the time you get out of school, AI might start to settle, and they might start hiring back a lot of developers. I think it's possible we could just be in a lull created by the excitement of AI. AI is not all that, and I think they're going to start finding that AI is helpful. It's a good tool, but it's not a replacement. It might just speed up, make people a little more efficient, a little quicker. So it could just be that you might be in school at the right time to come back and jump in when things recover. That's the optimistic view for it. The pessimistic view is they're going to fix AI and it's going to get smarter, and some of those jobs won't materialize again. And there's still, you know, 50, 60, 70,000 people out there without jobs, as in the US, that are developers that you're just going to be competing against, and it's going to suck. So that's all I can say. I think a lot of developers too, one of the advantages too, is as things start to settle, a lot of developers are going to change careers. They're going to get out of the business. They're going to say, screw it. I don't want to mess with this anymore. And it's going to do this thing where all these jobs became available because of the excitement of AI. People start to realize that AI is not so great, and it's going to start coming back down. And as all these developers who got laid off way down here decide to fiddle out, and there's not as many of them around, this will start going down, and more jobs will come back, and the new people can jump in and maybe catch on as the AI and people level starts to level out. That's what I think is headed for. But again, they might just make AI better. I mean, way better. It's not really improving that fast. Honestly, I don't think the latest versions of AI are all that much better than the previous couple of versions. I mean, I still occasionally I'm using GPT-5 here, but I don't know that it's better than Claude. I still go back to Claude on a number of occasions. I haven't been using any AI for the last, I mean, with the exception of, helping write a couple of functions that are just copies of things. But I don't, like lately, I'm trying to solve this problem here, and it's not really anything AI can do. So, yeah, it's just a matter of, you know, maybe waiting it out. And if you're going to school, it might get better. But don't lose track of AI. I mean, learn to use it. Learn how to use it. Learn how to prompt it. Get the results you want. You want to learn to get maximum use out of it because it's going to be a major tool. And hopefully schools are aware of that as they teach people. Brake tackle 488. I'm still sitting there at 488. All right, so did I? All right, let's just again. I got to see what this is doing. Which means I got to go back over here. Refresh. Scaling values. Drop. And then we'll go over here. And run again. Now we're going to see what kind of, what is the first numbers it throws into brake tackle skill? 0. See, we're getting a 0. It starts off okay. We get a real number. But we're getting a 0. And should never get a 0. If brake tackle how is that happening? Well, once it hits 0, oh, I have that there. Oh, that's the test detail. That's test also. Nope. It's all in here. Lots of times because I keep trying to trap it. Keep trying to trap it and it keeps getting away. How are we getting to 0? I gotta do an ask here, because if I don't, it'll try to fix, and I keep telling it not to. So in the get break tackle skill, I believe I have it fully set up that get scale min value is always called with -99. Don't set, just get what exists. If the break tackle skill would ever be 0 or less. However, somehow it is still getting set to 0. And a player has a 0 result. Is there something wrong with... You know, get scale min value can't even be the problem, because it doesn't have a value to set. There's nothing to set it. Unless you pass it in, which means I have to get to a 0, which should be impossible. There's something that should be impossible. If it's less than or is equal to 0, I do this. But otherwise, I do this. But that's only if it's greater than 0. How are we getting to 0? I don't understand. It's the time of bonkers. What am I missing? I don't get it. It doesn't make sense. It's not supposed to be 0. How is it getting set to 0? And once it's set to 0, it's stuck there. But how? 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 How now, brown cow? So this doesn't set break tackle. That shouldn't matter. Because there's no setting it. And all we're doing is taking this value. So this value just passes down. If it skips over that, I don't care. Because this is just setting the range. That's all this does. It doesn't really... It just initializes the range, but it shouldn't get to here unless it's above 0. And then we just return that back and we're good. But some frickin' way it's getting back up. It's how is it setting that break tackle skill? Get break tackle skill. You're using the punt return average to decide if a player has a punt return stat. Yeah, that doesn't work. But none of those have anything to do with break tackle. I know. I did set this to average, but I don't care. I was okay with that. I mean, it's really not the point. The idea is that if it's a 0, we don't run here, and that's fine, because then we don't have anything, which is fine. If punt return average, I don't want to hard code it. It didn't figure it out. It doesn't know. All it's doing is, yeah, I don't know what it's doing. It's telling me to turn this back to returns, and I punt returns, and it really doesn't matter. The idea is that I thought, well, average is what I use, so if it's 0, then I don't want it because it's not useful to me. I could have just changed the name to punt return average. It's only because this is having returns. But again, if it goes, the idea is that if this is not 0, I go in here. That's all. But again, that's not break tackle. But the question is, why is 0 even getting into scaling function? The only two places where, in fact, there's only one place where break tackle is set, and it's right here. None of these call it anywhere else. There's no reference to break tackle anywhere else except for here. This doesn't even set it because it's negative 99, and I know it's not negative 99 because it doesn't set to, I mean, I looked, it's 0. So frickin' frustrating. What is going on, man? All right, let's go see if I can see it. I don't know, it's probably gonna be hard to find. There's 78 documents in here. And there's not, I guess, I am not a fan of this any more than anyone else. Because Mongo doesn't, there's not like an easy, just go select blah from blah. Mongo's a pain in the rear. You can't just easily just pull stuff from Mongo database. There's break tackle skill. Min value 0. How is that getting in there? It is definitely getting set to 0. It's not supposed to be possible, but it's doing it. Somehow I'm passing a 0 in. That's all I can figure. I'm somehow passing 0 into the freaking database. It's not supposed to be possible. All right, let's do a different thing. Let's take this brake tackle. The only thing that should be setting it is right here, because it's the only one I send in a value that's not negative 99 should this ever set. If brake tackle skill equals 0, I don't know how that happens. How would that ever happen? It just doesn't it's not supposed to be possible. All right, let's do this. Only because I need to see what it's putting in here. New man brake tackle equals. Oops. Format dot print line updated brake tackle skill to new man brake tackle. Scaling values, drop collection. Should be impossible. Updated to 0. How? It's not supposed to be possible. It's not supposed to be possible. What am I doing wrong? What am I doing wrong? It's not supposed to be possible. I don't get it. It's got a bunch of them getting in. Updated to 0. Well, it's because once it is, but... All right, let's try something else. All right, so we're gonna get rid of all of these other comments so that I'm not cluttering, so I have a chance to see what's happening here. Now we're gonna go down here, and we're gonna go. Before update tackle skill equals after update min Okay. And the only time, then we're just going to do this. If before update min tackle skill is not equal to 0, we're going to really minimize when and where and what happens here. All right. Try this again. Oh, it's still logging crap. Still running from the last 1,000 times. But we got all these are break tackles. And I can't see the first one because I have all these other craps. That's why I had to get rid of all the other calls, because I won't be able to see this because it'll happen so fast. I won't be able to read it. But at some point, this is not equal to 0. And then we go here. And then we get a 0. And I should probably write down the player name. Which player is destroying my life right now? Which player do I hate with all my heart because something about his frickin' stats are destroying everything I come to love? Did I miss it? Ah, it's 10:06. I'm already going. It's way late. I wanted to go to bed at 10. Player. Right. Are you done? Can I actually do what I wanted to do? Oh, come on. How long does it take to destroy stuff? Just finish already. There we go. Ugh. Glenn Pakaluka. Is he breaking my brake tackle? No, it's a different thing going on there. If at some point there it is. Brian St. Pierre updated brake tackle skill from 1.3 to 0. But how? It was 1.32, but somehow it got set to 0. It's right here. But 0 cannot go here. What the whole freaking point is this if statement? It's not supposed to be possible. What am I doing wrong? It was this, and then it turned into this. But that means this has to be 0, which is totally not possible. Why is line 198 failing? Only line 202 can set the scale value, and the comment I put there is showing that a 0 value is getting past line 198. How? How? Is this a bug? Is there a Go bug? Is there some frickin' math thing that says it doesn't want to read variables that don't... Am I doing less than or equal to wrong? It's not supposed to be able to happen. If it's less than or equal to, we just do that. Else, do that. It's got to be some kind of a bug. It should not be even possible. It's not. Deep breaths, Ken. Deep breaths. I'm staring at this going, what am I doing wrong? Is there something about Go? You know, and then it's so slow. I could probably ask this thing to tell me an answer quicker. I have this if statement in Go. The condition of 0 should not be able to get to the else condition, but somehow there is a 0 getting through. That is proven by my comments. The get scale min value sets to the value passed as long as it does not equal -99. Otherwise, it just returns the 0, or is it the minimum? Minimum value already stored, which, if this worked, would never be 0. Why does it keep calling out the punt returns? That's not the problem. The problem's in the if condition. Who cares? Focus on the problem. The if condition is letting a 0 value pass. Shiminy Christmas, people. See, that's the thing. Maybe it's a float problem. Hmm. So it's possibly a float problem. What if I go 0? I mean, I don't know what value could possibly be getting through there, but you're so wrong. It's so worried about this punt return thing. It doesn't matter. It's just all that's used for is a test to go into that last state. I'm not even using it for anything except to check whether or not I go into the punt return check. It's a mere... Why are you so focused on the punt return item? It is only used to determine which object, which if statement to enter. If it is 0, then it won't enter, then it won't pass any punt return if statement. I don't think, I think the problem is maybe GPT-5 is just stupid. So I think Copilot might be onto something. But I think it's, let's go look at Claude. Grok. What is Grok code? I don't even know what that is. That's a new thing up here. It's Grok code 5 fast. I don't know what that's supposed to do. You know what? I'm just going to stop this. You're too dumb. You're frustrating me. What is this? Oh, is this my sort? I probably want to keep that. Okay. Can you explain to me why 198 is letting a 0 value pass? Is it an issue with data type? Break tackle skill should be a float. I will, let's go ahead and just, for skips and giggles, break tackle skill. Break tackle value. Oh, what did I do? Go away. Comma. All right, try one more time because I am stubborn and I am going to figure this out. I change this to 0.0 just in case it's a float problem. I'm going to go here. Yep, there it is. Brian St. Peter's. Break tackle value blah, updated blah to blah. It somehow took 0.083333, updated this value to 0. Okay, so maybe, it is maybe possible that my min value function is not taking a triple digit option. Let's go look at my min value. I wonder if it's somehow cutting it off. It's not a 0 value, it's something. Can you explain to me why line 1 is letting? All right, so the question might actually be is, can you explain to me why get scale min value is returning 0 when a non-zero value is passed. The first value is getting passed and 0 is getting returned. But it has something to do with, oh, that was really fast. Oh, it's an ask. No, no, you're looking at the wrong, no, it's not it. No, that is not it. Get scale min value with a negative 99 only returns the current min and does not set the value. Only the second call on line 202 sets the call using the value provided. But the return should equal the value because it is the new minimum. But instead, it is returning 0. I'm pretty sure the problem's got to be something going on weird. Maybe it's not returning the right value. It's not returning a float. Let's go look at this. Is it returning a float? Get scale max value. It does return a float. That's max, but I'm pretty sure min is the same. All right, get scale min, float. We're doing something wonky. If scale is 99, treat as flag, blah, blah, blah. Ensure document exists if inserting. Set both min and max to the value. Set on insert. Min value. Update the min value if the new value is smaller and bump last updated when it changes. Oh, I think we might be something here. But why? Oh. I think that's it. There's my problem. I found it. You're too little, too late, my friend. You failed me. I'm going away. Okay, I see what's going on. Because this number is so tiny, and I like to set the min, it's kind of a mislead, really. I should probably stop doing this or this. One of these should not be happening. I mean, either one, actually. Because this one's just going to return the value, whatever it is. And this is supposed to be taking a number off. I think my problem is this has to be 0. If I add an extra 0 to this, I bet you I no longer have this problem. Man, that is really going to be tiny. But it does drop them. It's crazy. Huh. Because it's such minuscule numbers. Jeez. I'm tempted to not do this. Just no document reader return 0, 0. Then I would have to get the returned value. I could just do that. Then it would always be good. But then I could end up with a... I still have to do a math.max so I don't end up with a negative number. But at least I would only have to fix it once and I wouldn't have to do it in 2 places. Plus, this means my values in the database would always be good. Or I could just say screw it and always just work with the minimum and maximum. My thought is I want a player who's at least attempted it to be proven that they are a slightly better than just somebody who's never done it. And that's why I wanted to have the number be a little bit lower. I think I am going to just use the value, and we'll do this. Just because it goes into the database, it makes the database clean. It'll just be the value that's returned that's slightly smaller. I don't even know. I wonder if I should just say screw that and just... I can't... I'm... I really don't want any numbers to be negative. I mean, I think there might be situations where they can be, but they shouldn't be. And because it just messes with my stuff. I may have to put in some kind of condition that says if it's 0, scale it on a bigger number or something. You know, this whole logic doesn't work. I can't do this. I have to just take it as is. If I want this to be allowed to be fully functional, I can't try to subtract. Or I can subtract and just be happy with the result, which could be negative. See, all I can do, because if it does allow negative, then it allows negative. What can I do, man? Minus 0.001. We're just going to go tiny. Let's let it. Fine. But that should fix my problems. What a nuisance. All right. So I didn't think I'd ever have a number that was lower than 0.01. What was I mean, how was I to expect such goofiness? If they get smaller than 0.001, I'm just like, I give up. That's just stupid. How long have I been on there? 2.5 hours to get this going. Wow. Okay. Well. Yeah. Let's see if I get any better results here. So I still have quite a few. We should, now we're getting numbers that are getting set to 0.8, 0.7. All right, so we are actually in those ranges. We are not getting any more zeros. It's trying. Look at that, 0.003. We got really low. We actually got as low as 0.003. Wow. That is just bottom barrel nonsense. 0.0023 to 0.00. Wait a minute. Brake tackle value updated 0.002 to 0.003. How come it got updated to 0.003? That's bigger, not smaller. Oh my gosh, negative 0.0006. I got a number that's smaller than 0.001. Ah. .0003. Good golly molly. What the heck? Ah, these numbers are stupid. It's 4 digits tiny. My minimum is .0003. Oh, these are some frickin' stupid numbers. And the condition is not equal to 0. Okay, so it's just updating. It's just passing in the value. It's supposed to be if before update is, it's supposed to be like if before update is greater than brake tackle. That would limit, that would get rid of a lot of these calls. That's just saying though, all this is doing is saying it's calling. It's not actually changing the numbers. Well, actually, isn't it? No, that's the after update. Yeah, that's just if they're different. Okay, so that's not equal to 0, and then what the new value is before and after. After is always 0.00, and it's going to stay 0.00 no matter what these say. It's not actually updating. It's only if this is, if the before update is greater than the new update, then it'll be correct, which means that I'm not sure why this negative 0006. Oh, because it's 0, 0. No, that's negative, though. That's like below 0. What the frick, man? The after update is always this, so it's not changing it. But how did a negative 0006 not change it? Isn't 0003 smaller No, negative 0.0006 smaller. If min value, whatever it is greater than this value, then the new value is the value. Now, it does give me a negative, which isn't great. Holy moly, are you really going to keep going? Can I break this? I can. Yay. There, now it's only printing it when it actually gets lower. That's kind of weird. Look, it says 0.002. So how did I get to the 0.002? Because it went here, here, and then it said, oh, okay, so now we're going here. But then we went to 3. How did 0.00... Oh, it's because this is a 0.001 smaller, because I made it smaller. That was me, no wait, I thought I didn't do that after all. Oh, I did. I subtracted 0.001. So 0.001 is smaller than 0.003. I don't know how 0.001. Oh. 0.001 subtracted from 0.004 though should have been 0.003. Somehow I ended up with 0.002. Oh, no, I didn't. I don't know. La 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 la. So confused. But notice, no more nonsense. We got nobody else triggered it. Once everything ran, we got all the way through that without any triggers. It happened a couple of times, got it down to 0.003, and then we were good. So now we have what appears to be the final values. Now Fred Taylor's only showing up because I actually have a filter on him that says if it's Fred Taylor, show it to me. Only because I was using him as a sample for my my big play stuff. But now I'm doing brake tackles. Looks like brake tackle is getting set correctly now. It's no longer a 0, and we should get 1,484 people with a skill now. We're gonna find out. What a pain. Actually, it might have fixed a couple of them. It could be a problem. that I was hitting with other things too. I'm gonna find out. Now his number is crazy tiny. On the upside, it's always gonna set. It's gonna set correctly. I'm not using any negatives. And I'm not setting it negative. I think my my subtraction of 0.01 was setting it negative. I think that was part of the problem. Because you subtract 0.01 from 0.00003, you end up with a negative number. Because you only have 0.0003 left, not a whole 0.01. Micro numbers. They're going to scale to regular numbers. I'll have that fixed. When it's all said and done, all these numbers are just going to be scaled and they're all just going to be fine. Because it doesn't matter. In the end, I'm just getting the value and then I scale it to the way I want it. And have players work off of those. But it's still kind of a pain. But 10:44, 45 minutes past my bedtime. I'm hoping this actually fixes more than one of the skills, but we're about to find out. When it gets around to actually displaying the final values. There goes, yay. All right, so we got 1484 all the way up to... Well, brake tackle still only has 488. Sheesh. I still have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 that are broken. Not bad considering I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. 22 that are good. So about a third of my things are still broken. And I haven't figured out why. I haven't gone through all of them. I'm just trying to fix one. I still don't know why we're getting zeros, because brake tackle doesn't hit 0 anymore. It is going down to 0.0003, so that's 000. This could be my problem still. But it doesn't fix everybody. All it does is make sure that one of my numbers never falls below. Just means all my numbers can now go really tiny if they have to. Zero 08, 007. 0075. We're still shrinking. 72. Still shrinking. 064 and shrinking. You know, it occurs to me that my thing is going to be wrong. This is not going to work. Because if it sees this as the value to beat, well, no, I guess it'll still pass it in and update it. Because it won't know. It's because I'm not conditionally setting it. I'm still setting it. I'm just... Still getting all the way out to 004. We got 5 and 5. Four, 003, 002. I think that's the lowest it goes, 002. But apparently you got 0026. And shrinking Jeff Garcia. 0021. I got pretty tiny, but we did get through everybody. 0021. Sheesh. So, that said, I could probably just multiply it by... Oh, look, it's still going. Oh my gosh, look at that. 0008. How many did I? 0001. We are still shrinking. Huh? You know what I need to do? I think I need to multiply it by like 10. Let's bring that number up. Let's just get it out of this trouble zone and say, screw it. We're going to update this number to like 10. I can multiply it by a 10. Heck, I can multiply it by 100. It seems like all my numbers, I mean, they're all of significance. I don't know why they're so tiny, but ultimately. All right, let's just Control C this. And we're going to go over to my offense. Let's stop making my life difficult. Let's just say screw it. And we're going to multiply this by, it seems like my numbers are pretty safely tiny. Actually, let's go back. We're just going to go break tackle skill times equals 100. Beat that. Let's see. Let's just stop it. Stop torturing yourself, kid. It's time to suck it up and stop working with stupid numbers. Wait, what did I do? Now, to be fair, that means we'll never, ever, ever, ever be close to 0 as long as the numbers are doing what they're supposed to. Oh, he's still getting some numbers. Look, that guy got 133. So Leonard Pope's break tackles 133. Some of these guys are still under 1. And dropping. But on the upside, their numbers are going to be big. I mean, at least they're close to 1-ish. Now, why I'm still getting numbers that are like, how I get a number that's 133? I mean, that range is insane how big a difference that is. I mean, that is just like crazy different wide range. I mean, look at, we got guys that are still like less than 0.5, 0.42 and dropping. And we still, we're going to have some crazy range here. If I scale these guys, 0.3, 0.2, .18. Good grief, 0.14? Point 0.14, 0.10. I was about ready to say we were at the end, but somehow we still have all the way out to, we're still dropping 0.04, 0.03. And no, we're still dropping it into triple digits. 0.003. Mark Brunel. How bad is Mark Brunel at the break tackle? Whatever my break tackle logic is, it is funky. I mean, to drop still to thousandths, his value is so bad, he still dropped to 0.003. Took 4 tries to get through all those guys? I still can't subtract 1 from 0.003. Why is Mark Brunel so bad? That is so crap. Mark Brunel probably had a... I can't even believe Mark Brunel was still playing in 2009. He was the Jacksonville Jaguars quarterback in the mid-90s. And that was 10 years, and I don't think he was... I mean, when he was running the Jaguars, I don't think he couldn't have been their starter. I mean, obviously, with terrible stats like that. That is just... It must be rushing attempts. And then what? I wonder if I should do something like, if their adjusted yards per rush is less than 0, just set it to 0. I wonder if that would fix a lot of this. If they have negative, I mean, I would like everybody to have a break tackle skill. But this is insanely insane. How is everybody dropping it so fast? And how is everybody's number worse? There's some really bad people. I gotta... All right, let's see. Well, I know it's about 488, right? Still the same. Oh, dropped to 388. I somehow lost 100 people. 100 people stopped getting values when I did that. Oh wait, I'm working on break tackle. Never mind. Oh, break tackle's that it's got a value in it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh wow, break tackle's actually 100% now. Holy moly. I still can't say I like the numbers. I still think they're really stupid small. But the only other option would be to scale them right away. But look where we started. I mean, oh, I can't see where I started, but yeah, well, here's Leonard Pope. was updating a 322. So the first person to put in his value was a 322. Of course, that's... I don't know who put in the 322, but that is crazy. I don't know who the 322, but even Leonard Pope at 133 must have been rushing. Somehow my rushing attempts are somehow providing a much higher turnaround of values, or Leonard Pope is a running back and I'm not scaling these very well, or he could have been a return and he's getting humongous numbers because of their average, because kick returns and punt returns have bigger values, and I think that could be that I'm not scaling this very well. Anyway, till next time, good night.